How's it going today, folks? I'm Braap and welcome back to the Braap Shack. Today all the parts came in for this 2007 Honda fourtrax 420 ES. Issue with this machine is the owner was struck from the side by a car. It fucked up the original rim, ripped the original tire. That tire there is from that side, hence the tread is facing backwards. I just threw it on there so I could give it a little bit of a whirl and you can see just how bent she is. So I'll sit you down here. So yeah, she's got a bit of a bend to her. So we have a new axle, new bearings, and new wheel spacers because rather than buy one old ugly steel rim, the owner opted for buying a set of used aluminums. The only difference is 2 inches of offset. See, those ones, they got quite a bit of back spacing, whereas these ones have 2 inches less and they're almost flush to the outside of the rim. So the fronts are the exact same, but the backs, like I said, 2 inches of different back spacing. So we got 2-inch spacers. I'm going to slap one of those on either side, and that will allow him to run aluminum rims. So I'll turn this bitch back on when I'm ready to get started. Well, here we go. We're going to start by zipping off the tire, all the brake components, the hub, the other hub, big nut there. There's another one in behind the brake, and yeah, she should slide right out of there. Yeah, so we're gonna get on that. So first of all, let's get these hubs off. Inside. Threads a quick fire brushing, and I'll hit them with a little bit of deep creep. That's by some good shit. I watched some comparison videos of seafoam deep creep. Seafoam deep creep versus a bunch of other different kinds of penetrating oil. And the way Buddy did his tests, you know, like he was pretty thorough in his testing, and this deep creep shit, it had the best penetration, and I think he tried 5 or 6 different penetrating oils. Decent. So 8mm. There's normally, you know, what is it, six 8mm little bolts to take off this drum cover, but the axle is bent so bad when I went to pick up the quad that the axle was pushing the brake shoes against the drum or vice versa, and that rear axle was locked right up. So I've already been into here and yarded all the brake junk out so that we could get it here to my house. Next thing, pull off the brake drum mount or plate, whatever the hell you want to call it. Looks like about a 13 or a 14. 9/16 will work. So there's 4 nuts here. They're lock nuts. The camera can only kind of see 2, but there's 2 more at the bottom. And I guess we can we'll probably have to pull these brake cables. I don't know. There's probably other videos on this. I could probably look one up and see, but it's not so much trouble to pull these brake cables. Now I'm gonna have to reset the brake and everything after anyway, so I'll probably just pull these cables. I don't know, maybe you don't have to. They're quite simple, you know. And spin off the butterflies. There's one. There's the other. Throw these butterfly nuts back on a couple turns so that your springs don't fall off, or you could just take the springs off and, you know, set them somewhere. Put these in behind the shock for now, and then those four brake nuts they're off. So take a rubber mallet, because this is aluminum, you don't want to. Where'd that other one go? Those are just the keepers for the cable. Well, I say they're just the keepers for the cable, but they are rather important, so try not to lose them like I did. Fortunately, I'm in a small shop, so finding those later won't be an issue, but If you're in a larger shop and your shit goes flying, you might want to go find it immediately. There's that guy. That guy will slide. Oh, the breather. I forgot about the breather. Breather's just got one of those little bread clip friggin' hose clamps on it. Wiggle that loose. I yarded off of there. Set that guy off to the side. This axle should now should just come right out of there. Now, because this is bent so severely, it's giving me trouble. Normally they come out of there quite easily. So, there it is. Quite bent. And now to slide in the new axle. One thing I forgot to mention that I should do, that I forgot to even do, is you don't have to do this, and 99% of the time, you know, you don't have an issue. But if your seals fail and water gets in here, these splines will seize to the splines inside and you won't be able to get the axle out next time. So for the cost of a little bit of anti-seize or aluminum or copper paste or never seize or whatever you want to call it, everybody calls it something different. I call it anti-seize. It's dab a little bit of that shit on there. You'll be sure that the next time you go to yard the fucking thing apart, it'll come apart. I'll slide her in there. There's that. Slide the brake assembly back on. There we go. And then there's that, there's an O-ring in there that seals the drum housing to the axle tube. Gotta make sure that that's in its seat. Otherwise this won't seal, water will get in there, your brake will be hooped. Okay? Hooped. She'll be hooped. For those of you that are unfamiliar with hooped, fucked. Okay, should be just fucked. I'm sure everybody understands that. I'm sure there's a fucking torque spec for this, but to anybody who's accustomed to my videos, I measure most of my torque specs in either Gugadas or grunts, and we'll call this, you know, a grunt and a half. And there you go. That's done. Now we can throw our cables back on. And goes that guy. And that guy. Washer. First nut. And I'll go the second nut. To hold it in place, I guess we could throw the brake together and, you know, put on the parking brake. That way we don't gotta put a pipe wrench on the new axle and get it all scratched and scarred and whatnot. So I think that's what we'll do. Alrighty, well, not sure when this fucking thing, you know, quit recording. But anyway, went to check on how much footage I had, and fucking thing was sitting there saying memory full, and it didn't give me no warning beep or no fuck all about when it got full. So until I actually go inside and review the footage, I don't know what you guys have seen and what you haven't. So anyway, where we're at, we've had everything test fit. I'm gonna give the brake parts a little cleaning. I like to always assemble them, make sure everything is freely moving and everything, and you know, you got dirty hands, so everything's all caca. And once you know that, you know, your brakes are going to go together properly and everything, I yard them apart, give them a quick spray, carefully put everything back together without touching any of the shoes or the drum. So that's what we're doing right now. Let that drip out for a second. I've got a quick wipe. And with brake clean, you can, if you're really in a rush, you can spray them and assemble them. The shit will dry. Next is is the cover. Get these 8mm bolts started. There's the brake and the axle, and now we can apply the parking brake. Tighten up those two big nuts. There's two more big nuts that go on this side. They're easier to tighten up with the parking brake on, so I don't gotta make monkey wrench fucking marks all over the new axle. Tighten those up, throw on the hubs, throw on the wheels, good to go. We should be able to tighten up this nut, no problem. Washer, nut. Brand new cotter pins. How tight, you ask? I don't know, we'll see. That many googadas. And then line up a hole. There you go. Yeah, couple googadas. That's fine. It's not holding anything except literally the hub to the axle. I mean, its job is quite simple. And I'm pretty sure that's about how many googadas it took to get it off. That is a new cotter pin. a quick cleanup, and then we'll get on the video for the bead buster.